GC, and it's the ISM manufacturing report. That's what I'm doing. No, we don't use an ATM. Our software is the ATM. I don't use an ATM ever. For me, the software is the ATM. If you use an ATM, then you cannot use any of the fields in the software. No ATM for the way that we trade. As you get, if you become advanced and you want to start using ATMs, that's a whole different way of trading with the software. So I've got a bracket of 6, one target for 8 ticks, one target for 15 ticks. It's a 10-second cancel. If we don't get filled in 10 seconds, it should be canceled. I have a stop of 10, and my entry time is 9:59:58 Eastern Time. Apply it, okay it. Don't even worry about the trap trade. We haven't traded a trap trade in about a year, Steve. So don't even think about the trap trade for now. Maybe this year we'll get back into trap trades. I'm going to put my charts on live, and then I'm going to enable the report, the trade. If I get my icon, it means that my trade is enabled. And what that means is there's going to be a bracket. The cancel is you cancel just by clicking the enabled button. Make sure you're on strategies and you cancel the enabled button. You turn off the enabled button. That will cancel the trade. Now I'm going to check my time. I want my time to be in sync. Now I'm going to look at the ES for a possible reversal, but I don't want to be distracted today by a reversal trade, okay? To sync my computer, I go to the website time.is. That's how I sync my computer. I go to a website called time.is. And it puts, usually it puts my computer in sync, okay? Your time is exact. If it doesn't, we have other tools that will help you to put your computer in sync, okay? Now, because I'm trading this real money and I want to concentrate, I'm not setting up a reversal trade on the ES on this particular report. It's the first week of the new year. We want to get a feeling for how the markets are trading. Now, up on the taskbar at the top of your chart, you have a break even button and a combine button. The break even button will put your stop to break even if your trade is profitable, and it needs to be profitable by a couple of ticks. The combine button combines orders. If you're trading more than one position, it can combine the orders into one using the closest order to current price as the area it will combine to. So if you have an order here and an order here, and you click the combine button, it'll put them both here because it's closer to the current price. That's how the combine button works. Okay. Okay, so I just want to welcome all our YouTube viewers. You think it's working because it's not labeled properly, Chantal? Mine isn't. I'm not sure that it's working. When does what show up, Sanji? If your trade is enabled, your break even and combine buttons should be on the top of your chart. If you're trading Ninja Trader 7, it's almost impossible to control where the buttons are going to show up, which chart. Okay. So you see how volatile gold is right now, folks? It's got to calm down pretty quick or I might pass. Okay, that's a pretty volatile candle. Okay, that's a pretty volatile candle. Chantal, I'm showing a different trade completely on YouTube. So I can't concentrate on that now. Gold is pretty volatile this morning. Gold is pretty volatile. So I'm debating whether or not I want to trade this trade. It's calming down a little bit. I want to see the news. We need the result to come out on time. It's very important. It's calming down a little bit. You got a minute to go. If you did want to cancel the trade, you would click that check mark and uncheck it. That would uncheck your trade and that would cancel the particular trade. So we have 20 seconds. There's your brackets. The news comes out and it pulls back, okay? The news pulls back and hits my stop because of the chop okay? It pulls back. I protect my profit, folks. I protect my profit. We're in the first week of trading here. I need to see how these markets are going to trade. So I'm okay with a couple of small trades to start. I'm perfectly okay with a couple of small trades. Now, I wanted to make a little bit more money, okay? The news was positive, so gold is working the right way. Gold is working the right way, but it's got low liquidity. If I would have just left the trade alone, I would have hit my second target. Now, I'm not going to chase it now. I'm not going to chase it now. What's interesting is the ES is a safer trade, and you could have reversed to the high of day, okay? You could have reversed to the high of day. I had a 7-tick profit in 1 second, but look at all the money I left on the table. I left a lot of money on the table because I protected my profit, okay? Ludovic, did your trade fire off this time? Did your trade fire off? So, Brian, you got to help Ludovic for me. Ludovic can't get his time right. He's in another country. So, okay, so shouldn't your time should be set to Eastern time on the software? Brian, what time is your software set for the trigger? Isn't it Eastern time? Juan, very nice. See, Ludovic, if you're setting your time to the country you're in, your trade's not going to trigger. You have to trigger your time, Eastern time, 10 o'clock. You have to use Eastern time, 10 o'clock. Now, Brian, if you're on a VPS, you might have to do it an hour earlier because that's the time that's set on your VPS. You follow me? So I made 7 ticks. I could have made a lot more if I would have left my stop alone, but I want to see how gold is trading, if it's safe to trade this week. So I don't mind a couple of small trades. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Let's look at the video and I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Brian, do you change your time on Ninja Trader? Because I know you're in another country. But the time, Ludovic, your trading time on the software has to be Eastern time. You need to be on Eastern time for your software to fire off. If you're on Sydney time, you're not going to fire off. So gold did somewhat of a reversal. You don't really have a level. You do have the low of the day there, okay? You are quite a few ticks away from it, not close enough for me to take that reversal. But the ES, The ES did a reversal. If you look at the trade, one of the things you want to look at is look at the ES chart before the trade, and you have a possible reversal at the high of the day. Watch what the price did. Watch what the price did. The price, it goes right up to the high of the day. You put your reversal on right there. Hope you survive your stop, right? And bingo, price goes down and you have a nice ES reversal trade. Ludovic, put your charts in sim right now. Put your chart in sim right now. Make sure that you can't trade real money. And Ludovic, was your strategy enabled? In other words, let me put my charts on sim so I don't put myself in a trade by accident. Okay, so ISM, so the ES, you had a perfect reversal trade. What's the yellow line on gold? Yellow line is the 6 p.m. open. 6 p.m. open doesn't have that much meaning for gold because gold opens at 8:20. Chantal, I'm seeing an API report on the on YouTube. I saw the trade when you first started streaming, but now I'm seeing an old API trade. Let me see if, and now I see it, Chantal. I think you're okay. Chantal, I think you're okay. Ludovic, your chart is set to sim. See where it says account? Make sure that's set to sim. Also, up top, make sure global simulation is checked. Jaquan, regarding a reversal on gold, if you look at the number of ticks, how far away it was from the red line, the low of the day, Jaquan, it was a little bit too far. I would want a 20-tick stop, Jaquan. So gold, it's 1940, let's call it 1942, 1938. It's over 30 ticks away. So I would want it to be about 15 ticks away at the most. I'd prefer it quite a bit closer to the red line, Jaquan. Maybe 10 ticks away from it. Okay? It worked, but your stop would have had to have been 35 ticks. It's too big. Your stop would have to be, in my opinion, below the low of the day. Does that make sense, Jaquan? Okay. Now, Ludovic, so your chart is set to sim. Do you have the clock? Do you have the clock? Do you have the clock that I have on my chart? Okay. What time is your clock set to? So, Brian, what time is your clock set to? Brian, it's definitely the wrong time. Brian, he's definitely got the wrong time. He's set to Sydney time. He's set to Sydney time. I'm sure of it. I know that's what the problem. Your local time is set to Sydney. So the software is not firing off because it's the wrong time. So Ludovic, you need your software to be set to Eastern time. Yes, Salvador, don't do it in YouTube. Do it live in the trade room. It's delayed on YouTube. Ludovic, do a test. Do a test and set your computer time to Eastern time and try to do a sample trade at like 10:14. Do you know what I mean? Do a sample breakout at 10:14. Jaquan, a range chart is just, it's like a different, I mean, a range chart is a different way to look at time. That's all it is. It's just a different way to look at time. When you use a one range chart, it shows every tick, every single tick. That's the only range chart that I personally use, a one range chart, okay? Because it will show every single tick. That way you can analyze a trade and see why you might be stopped out when it looked like it might have been a winning trade. So Brian, he lives in Sydney. So should his computer should be set to Eastern time, shouldn't it? Yeah, Brian. Brian, no, I can't. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to do it in this room. I apologize. I don't know how to do it. Um, I apologize. Don't know how to do it. So if he's on Sydney time, right? Like let's say, like if you're on California time, you have to set your clock 3 hours earlier. So actually, Ludovic, I think that if you set your time, I mean, Ninja's going to be set to Eastern time. Brian, do you set your Ninja to Eastern time? Let's see if we can figure this out for him. Because if you're in California, you have to trigger the trade 3 hours earlier. Yeah, I'm going to wait. Brian, I'm going to wait for you to type. So, Ludovic, your trade should have been 159.58. 159.58. Okay. That I assume is your Sydney time. It's got to trigger at the time you're in. So I apologize for telling you the wrong thing. It needs to trigger at the time you're in. And your regional settings are set to Eastern time. Ninja Trader. In other words, leave the time on your computer alone, right? Leave the time on your computer alone. What time is it right now in Sydney? What time is it where you are right now? Is it 2:15? 2:15. So your trade should have been 1:59.58. 1:59.58. Use that as your model for how to set your time with the settings that you have now. Do you follow me? Your trade should have been 1:59.58. That's assuming you are morning, okay? And not afternoon. If you're afternoon, you have to use military time, and then it would be 13:59.58. Okay? So I'm not going to rush out, Ludovic, until you're clear. Everyone will help you with the time. People that are overseas. So if you're set to Sydney time, Harold is right. 1:59.58 should have been your trade time. And that's your model for setting up your trade times. Okay? Right, because he's 8 hours ahead of us. So it should be trade minus 8 hours. Trade minus 8 hours. Now, Sanji makes a good point, Ludovic. You should use investing.com. And you can set, where the heck is the time setting in investing.com? You can set it so it will give you the local time. Ludovic, do you see that link that Brian just put up? That will help. But very simply, you are 8 hours earlier than us. 8 hours earlier than us. Is that correct? Is it 8 hours? Yeah, you're, what'd you say? You're 3:15, 2:15, 3:15, 2:16. Well, so that's not 8 hours, though. So, Harold, why is that 8 hours? Or you're saying that's 8 hours from Eastern time? So, Ludovic, let's say you have a trade at noon. Okay. Okay. So you got it now? You understand? Okay. So he's good. So what did I do wrong on this trade? Did I do anything wrong? No, but I could have made a decision not to move my stop. KW, Why don't I just tell you and you can take a picture? It'll take 1 second. How to set up R squeeze. R squeeze is the same as all the squeezes are the same. The only thing you have to change is color and momentum length. So KW, on a 1 minute chart, momentum length should be 12 on the squeeze. Okay? Momentum length should be 12 on a 1 minute chart. On a 30-second chart, it should be 17. Okay? 17. This is how your colors should be set up. Rising above zero, falling above zero, lime and green. Below zero falling is red. Below zero rising is a light red or coral. That's it. And then you can make your squeeze dot color whatever you want it to be, or your normal dot color, whatever you want it to be. My squeeze dot color is red. My normal dot color is blue. I almost like the normal dot color to be black. It's easier to see. Okay. All right, KW. Who else has a question? Come on, there's a lot of new people here. I'm happy to take questions. We'll be back at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. Okay. So keep a journal of your trades. Every trade that you practice in sim, keep a journal, right? And make a note on this trade that gold was safe to trade as per the DMM, okay? The ES was a good reversal at the high of the day, okay? Make notes so you remember next month, okay? You want to remember next month if you don't record your trade. And maybe you can't make the trade room next month. Okay? Also, if I didn't move my stop, I would have had a bigger profit. So I make a note of that. I want to know which trades lend themselves to doing that so I can make a decision whether or not this year I'm going to protect my profit more or less. Okay? So make notes on all your trades. So if I didn't move my stop, I would have made a bigger profit, okay? So I make a note of that, and I'll keep that in mind for next month. And that was a good setup, okay? That was a good setup. It worked perfectly. Okay? Yeah, Sanji, Brian sent him a link for that clock. Any other questions, folks? Any other questions? Anybody? Otherwise, we'll be back. You know, I see a fair amount of people that have been here for a while, and I'm just wondering if you're doing any trading. Who traded with me today? Who traded with me and made money today? Who traded and made money? Can you send me a picture? Can you send me a picture of your profits, please? So I can post it on Twitter. Thank you, Brian. I'd like to post it on Twitter and Facebook. Send it to my mom, my kids. Let them know that my life has value. Harold, you don't know how. Okay, let me teach you, Harold. So, Harold, if you want to take a picture of like part of the screen, okay? Liz, I'm glad you're liking my jokes. Harold, you want to take a picture of part of the screen. If you click the Start button or the Windows button and go to Windows Accessories, click All Programs, Windows Accessories, and inside that Windows Accessories folder, click it, you'll see the snipping tool. Drag the snipping tool to the taskbar. Drag it down to the taskbar and put it on the taskbar, okay? My snipping tool is on the taskbar. If I left click it, it gives me this little window, and I click New. Then I just hold down my left mouse button and draw the area I want to copy, let the mouse button up, and now I can just save that as. See you tomorrow, Ludovic. Save as, and now you have a picture that you can send to me. Okay? Look at gold for all you discretionary traders out there. And Liz has a shortcut. Everybody has a different way of doing things. Okay? So, Liz, how does that determine where on the screen it takes the snapshot? Do you follow what I mean? How does it determine what area is covered by the snapshot? And I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I'm just asking for me. Once you press those three keys, the screen turns gray. Okay, and you drag the mouse over the area you want. Then release the mouse and you've copied the section and you can paste it or save it. Beautiful. Paint, absolutely. Salvador is another way. I'm an old man too. Snipping tool is easy. Snipping tool is easy. So Liz, you're saying press the Windows key, Shift, and letter S. And then where is that area? In the clipboard? That's now on the clipboard, right? Okay. All right. So everybody has their way of doing things. All right. And that's the fun of the trade room. All right, Kim, see you later. Kim, hey, Kim, you are the Kim that needed your IDs activated, right? Nobody uses their real name, so I don't know who anybody is yet. You're good, right? I was notified, Kim, that you're active. Okay, this morning. I didn't have a chance to email you yet. So I'm not going to email you. All right. Yeah, Jaquana, I love that you use your real name. It helps me. Brian always uses his real name, but I'll get used to it. I'll get used to it. Use the name you want. I'll get used to it. If not, I'll just bug you to death. All right, folks. So, no reason, Harold, I knew yours is real. Definitely. We'll be back for API. And don't be frustrated Don't be frustrated if you leave money on the table. Don't get frustrated if you have a bad trade. Just keep practicing and it'll get easier. Okay? Just keep practicing. You should not be trading live if you became a member 1 week ago. You should be practicing in sim. Okay? That's the honest truth. That's why we give you months, a couple, 3 months in the trade room if you bought the software. Take that first month to practice. Take that first month. There's no rush. There's no rush. We have plenty of time, plenty of trades. Okay? All right, folks. I'll see everybody at 4 o'clock for the API report. See everybody at 4 Eastern time. Eastern time. Okay, folks. For today's trade, how much was needed in the account? So, Salvador, there's an easy way to find that out. Go to Google, right? Go to Google. Who's your broker, Salvador? Ninja? Is Ninja Trader? Brian, I will do that. I'm thinking of having a webinar, Brian. So Google, Salvador, Ninja Trader futures margins. Okay? Ninja Trader margins position management. That's the one I want. Okay? That's the one I want. Or might even be margin requirements. Let's take a look. Margin requirements. So you get this page, make it bigger. Make it bigger so you can see it with the plus sign. Scroll down until you find gold, GC. Here's GC. We're trading it. Intraday margin, unless the broker tells you something different. So today you need 2,000 plus extra money, okay? You need more than 2,000. 2,000 per contract, okay? I personally like to double it, but you could trade one gold contract with $3,000 in your account, okay? That should be enough. You can always email the broker, Salvador. They're really good about answering their emails. Brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. Brokerage support at ninjatrader.com. They'll tell you. They'll tell you. Jaquan, I'm not crazy about the micros, especially in these markets, because the liquidity is very low. Okay? You don't get good fills. All right? But so Salvador, that's how you can check all the instruments. All the instruments. All right? For margin. And the broker will let you know if they change the margin. So always check your emails. If there's, crazy things going on in the world, like the beginning of the world crisis, they were making the margins higher. Okay? They were making the margins higher. Brian, hasn't it always been around 2,000 for them or no? I thought they always were around 2,000. Oil, now we clear with AMP, and oil has much higher margin with AMP. CL is oil, okay? So, you want to make sure Ninja has better intraday margin than AMP. KW, as a general rule, I update my platform anytime they come out with an update. KW, so whenever they send me an email that they've updated the platform, I update. Because anytime you need tech support, they're going to make you update anyway. Okay. Okay. KW, there's 3 different versions of them. You got Gem Squeeze, R Squeeze, TTMS Squeeze. They're all slightly different, but essentially they are the same. R Squeeze is fine, KW. I've used that a million times. It's perfectly okay. All right, folks. Any other questions? Anybody else? All right, so I'll see everybody at 4, okay? I'll see everybody at 4. All right? Okay, folks. See everybody at 4. Take care. So long.